Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of the new wave of traditional heavy metal primer. As always, in the co-captain's chair, Mr. Rich Catino. Good morning, Rich. How are you?
Morning. Welcome to October.
That's right. We were just talking haunted houses and
Yeah.
Halloween decorations and all that sort of stuff. It's that month, right? He's got
Yep.
Rich is prepared. He's got his Eddie shirt, his Iron Maiden shirt. I've got my Trouble shirt. I'm like, yes, it's heavy
Very
metal.
cool trouble shirt, by the way. Never seen anybody wearing trouble.
Well, Bruce sent this to me himself, so I was very,
Awesome.
Bruce and I keep in touch every so often. But a couple of years ago, he was like, "Oh man, I watch your channel all the time. Can I send you one of our shirts?" I'm like, "Yeah, hell yeah!" It's like, I mean,
Yeah, I never seen anybody wearing trouble. You're the first person in probably 20 years.
and yeah, you don't see too many of them out in the wild. So I was very happy
Yeah.
to get one from Bruce, and I mean, I love the band, and
Mhm.
I kind of wish they would do something else. I know
Yeah.
we lost Eric, but I think they did an album without him, and it seems like that was forever ago. When was that last Trouble album? It was
I don't know. Good
10
question.
years, 10 years ago? More? I don't even, I've lost track of time. It
Let's see.
was a long
I
time
love
ago.
those first three are awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the whole catalog is great.
First four, yeah.
Yeah,
Let's see.
yeah, it's been a while.
Last one was 2013.
So it's over 10 years. Yeah, I figured it was
And
about that. See, that's a long time.
Simple Mind Condition was 2007.
Yeah. I don't know. At this point, you think we're going to get another one? I don't know. It's like, it's a long,
Yeah.
that's a long time. Usually, once you see like 10 years or so, you're like, yeah, I think they're kind of done. So I don't know.
Uh,
Bruce, if you're watching, is there another Trouble album coming? We would love to hear at least one more, from you
yeah.
guys. That'd be pretty cool. So anyway, we've got a another handful of great new wave of traditional heavy metal bands for you here today. And as you can see, the first one that we're going to talk about, I've got up on the Prezi screen, is Bloodstar. And this particular band is from Salt Lake City, Utah, here in the States. They formed in 2017. They have one full-length album, which was released in 2023. That's the one you're looking at right here. It's called First Sighting. Uh, Rich, what's your opinion of these guys?
Was this one your pick or my pick? I think I threw this one in the hat, right?
Honestly, I don't remember. I don't remember. But they're kind of cool because they're a little bit different, I think, than some of the other ones we have on this list today. But
Yeah.
how about that female singer, man? She's really good. Oh, before we
Yes.
do that, let me tell you who's in the band. So we got Madeline Smith on vocals. We've got Tyler Barani on drums, Jamison Palmer on guitars and backing vocals, and Noah Hadnut on bass. And Noah also played with Visigoth. I mean, a lot of these people play with a lot of the same bands. Visigoth, Jameson also played with Visigoth, also with
Right.
Death Blow, Sanctifier, Silver Talon. So these guys kind of get around a little bit. But yeah, that's your lineup. Madeline Smith, terrific singer. She's the front woman for this particular man.
Yeah. And Jameson also sings on the song The Observers.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he does do one of the tracks. Yep, that's right.
Yeah, but she does all all the vocals. So I compared them to Cauldron when I heard them and I heard this album because Cauldron has that the singing's very it's kind of monotone, right? There's some range within it, but it's kind of, one one delivery sort of. And that's kind of like what hers is like. It's very melodic singer as opposed to some of the other female fronted bands like Burning Witches, let's say,
Yeah.
which is more edgy and aggressive, right? So this is more of I would say, a pleasant type of a
Yeah.
voice.
You know what it reminds me of, Rich? I get a Doro thing going on here at times where it's anthemic,
Yeah,
it's melodic, it's not over the top by any means,
right.
not too aggressive, but I think she's really good. I really think
Yes.
I think it fits the
Yeah,
music.
I'm not saying it's a knock against it. I'm just saying as far as when it comes to those kind of singers, that's why I cited Cauldron because they have that same kind of a delivery. So
Yeah.
it's not aggressive, really. It's not really edgy or anything. It's just like a pleasing vocal, right? Compared to a lot of these other bands, which is more edgy and aggressive.
What do you think about them musically? I instantly, especially with the first couple of songs on the record, I
Yeah.
hear "On Through the Night" and "High and Dry" era Def Leppard as far as like the punchy,
Yeah.
concise, and compact arrangements and the guitar riffs.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
cool.
kind of what they remind me of too. Yep.
Yeah,
And I wrote down a couple of songs like "Fearless Priestess," which I thought was really good too,
it's a really good song. Yeah,
and I
yeah,
like that song, "The Observers."
yep,
So
yep.
it's a very consistent like listen.
It
It
is
doesn't veer too far from what they do,
correct.
right?
And that's kind of why I got the early Def Leppard comparison here because if you those first two Def Leppard albums are exactly that, right? There's not a
Yeah,
ton of variety on there, but
right,
what you get is very consistent hard and heavy rock songs with just great vocals and great riffs and melodic,
right,
short, concise songs. I mean, that's basically this album to a T.
right. But when you listen to Bloodstar, you really hear like new wave of British heavy metal bands like Maiden or Saxon or whatever, Tigers, Satan, Demon, or something like that. Maybe more of the Demon side, or maybe Tigers because it's a little more melodic, right?
Yeah, yeah, that I get. I honestly, I think they're coming more from that scene than they are from an American scene, but it's
Yes.
more for influence. It doesn't sound like they don't sound like Saxon, but I think
Mm-mm.
it's just this concise, very tight arrangements and
Yeah.
memorable vocal melodies and choruses. You get, I mean, like
Mhm.
The Observers is a perfect example. There's a little bit of a gallop to that, right? There's a little bit of a
Yes.
nod to like Tigers
Yeah.
and Maiden and When Satan and whatnot. But otherwise, I think that there's one of the things I wrote down in my notes is like there's not a lot of wasted moments in any of these songs.
Mhm.
There's not a lot of soloing. When
Right.
he does, it's very concise
Good
but
point. Yeah.
it's just really good, catchy fairly heavy
Yeah.
songs that just kind of stick in your head. There's no bells and whistles. It is what it
Right.
is.
No
I think it's really good.
orchestration, nothing like that.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's really good. I think like Going Home that's like a kind of different song. I think Going Home is like a little longer, a little moodier. I
Yeah.
love Wait to Die, which closes out the album. That's a nice belter. And I really like is it the first All for Nothing? That's really good.
Yes. That's the first song. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. It's really good. I think this is a really good album.
Yeah. And there's a little instrumental in there to break it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, too, what's cool about them, they have a great logo. I like the colors. I like the font, and very good artwork too.
Yeah, that cover is great. I mean, that's can't miss right there. That's what you want to
Yeah.
see, something like that. So yeah, I
Yep.
would give this a thumbs up. I dig it.
Yeah.
This
Totally.
one, like I said, this album came out in 2023, so you should still be able to track this one down. It's called First Sighting. And what we'll do, as always, folks, we'll leave the links to the Bandcamp pages down below in the comments section, so you guys can go and easily check out any of these bands. So yeah, Bloodstar, first band for today, from Salt Lake City here in the States. And we're gonna stay in the States. I'm gonna move on to the next one here. Let me go find them in the Prezi load up here. Here we go.
Going to Ohio, right? Yep.
Iron Flame, that's correct. From
Iron
Ohio.
Flame.
And this
Yes.
band formed in 2016. I almost struggle to call them a band because kind of like on the records, it's mostly like a one guy, but I know they play live, they have a whole full band. But they formed in
Right.
2016. They are signed to High Roller Records. So High Roller Records is a really good up and coming metal label that's just pumping out stuff left and right these days.
Yeah.
And they're really big with this scene, with this
I was gonna
whole
say with the traditional metal. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. They've got five full-length albums: "Lightning Strikes the Crown," "Tales of Splendor and Sorrow," "Blood Red Victory," "Where Madness Dwells," and "Kingdom Torn Asunder," which is the brand new album in
Yep.
2024 that we're going to mainly focus on. I do have that here. In fact, I got two
And
of
I
them.
think that's gonna make my top 15 of the year.
Yeah, I've been holding off reviewing it on the channel because I wanted to get this episode out first, but I will be
Yeah.
reviewing it for the next couple of weeks. But yeah, these are their two most recent. So we've got "Where
Right.
Madness Dwells" and "Kingdom Torn Asunder." Great artwork.
Yeah.
This is classic metal meets like American power metal with a little touch of
Yes. That,
European flair, I think.
dude, that's exactly what I wrote. That's exactly what I wrote down. And the singer sounds like Todd from Riot. Todd Michael.
Yeah, he does.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. There's also, I think, if folks like a band like Haunt, we've talked about Haunt on previous episodes. I think if you like
Yep.
Haunt, you'll really like these guys too, right? There's like that
Yes.
majestic kind of like nod to European power metal going on here with the higher pitched vocals and the
Yep.
influences. I mean, you can hear like I hear a lot of Priest on this album. There's a
I do.
touch of Halloween or Gamma Ray on a few tracks, but for the
Uh-huh.
most part, it's that whole kind of majestic melodic, you know old school metal on this, which I think is really, really cool.
I wrote down that Blood and Honor. That's where I get the Riot, U.S. power metal.
Yep.
Soul Survivors, you got more of an edgy guitar sound. My two favorites are Majesty of Steel and
Yep.
Mistress of Desire.
Yeah. Those are both great. Yeah.
Yeah, great use of the range, the vocal, the singer's vibrato. Very cool.
Yeah, those are all songs I highlighted. I mentioned here like Soul Survivors, I think sounds has a little bit of like more modern Judas Priest, like the last couple albums. By the way, there's the
Uh-huh.
guys in the band right there. Again, it's mostly the main guy. Let me tell you who he is. His name is Andrew DeCogna, and
Okay.
he has played with Icarus Witch and Infirmary and Unwilling Flesh and Moon Throne and Silver. I mean, he's playing with a shit ton of bands. But yeah, but he basically on the record plays everything. It's weird how they show a band on the back cover, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it's him doing everything because they
If
don't.
did we talk about Icarus Witch yet in an episode?
We did not. No, I don't
You
believe so.
should, because that's another parallel I draw to this band. If you like Icarus Witch, you'll like this band.
There you go.
What else did I write? Oh, Sword of a Thousand Truths. Very much familiar to like Gatekeeper and Eternal Champion.
Yes, yeah,
If
it's a
you like
little,
them,
little
those bands from
more
Newer
game
Wave.
time. Yeah, yeah,
Yep. And then also Shadow of the Reaper has a promo video too. Did you see that?
it did. That was very
Yeah.
cool.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, yeah, I like that
Yeah.
a lot. What else? Riding the Dragons is a real ass kicker. I think we
Yeah.
mentioned most of the really great songs on here. I think the vocals are outstanding. The
Yep.
drumming is great. The riffs are tremendous. The lead
Yep.
guitars, I mean, there's lead guitar work all over the place on here. So if you like your kind of metal that has lots of lead fills and nice flashy solos, you get plenty of them here. I think the
Mhm.
production of the album is really good too.
Great. Yeah, I was gonna say production is great too.
Really good. The artwork is cool. I mean, it just looks like, you know,
Yeah.
artwork that you would expect from something like this, which is
Frank Franzetta,
yeah, it totally looks like a Frazetta album
that
cover.
style. Yep. Yep. And I
Um,
also wrote down that if you like the US traditional metal, power metal, like Attacker and Jag Panzer, these guys are right up your alley, right?
yeah, I would agree. I would agree. And as Rich said, this is Rich mentioned it's going to be probably showing up in his list of favorites for 2024. That speaks volumes on how good it is, folks. So expect a
Thanks.
full review from me coming up here on the channel over the next couple of weeks. But we wanted to save that till we got them out of the way on the show here. But yeah, this is I think if I don't know, Rich, if we could like say there's one must-hear band on this list today. I mean, they're all recommended, but I think the one
Yeah.
that you should check out first is probably these guys.
That this band and there's another one that are tied for me. I
Okay.
think it's the next one we're talking about. They're from Austria.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. That's next.
It's
That's next.
next. All right.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, we are going to go to Austria. Let me go find them here in the Prezi. Hold on one second, folks. Where are they? Here we go. That band is Roadwolf.
Roadwolf. I mean, how many wolves are there now, man? You
What's
right?
that? Oh, how many wolves? Yeah, there's two. It's
We
way
could
too.
do an episode just on the bands that have wolf in their name. You got
I know.
Wolf from Sweden. From God, they've been around for 20 some odd years now, right?
Yep. Power Wolf and
Power Wolf. There's another one like Canthro or something like that, which is
yep.
another werewolf.
There's probably an Iron Wolf out there. There's probably I mean, we can go on and on. There's probably a ton of them. So yeah.
I know, right? But there's a few of them, yeah.
So these guys have been around since 2011. They are signed to Napalm Records. So again, another big signing here on a fairly big label. They've got
Yep.
two full-length albums and a bunch of singles, EPs, and splits. Unchain the Wolf from 2021 and Midnight Lightning, which is the one you're seeing right here, is their most recent one. And in the band, they got weird names. Mono on drums and vocals. Uh, AG on vocals and bass,
Yeah.
Valentine on guitars and vocals, and Franz Bauer on vocals. So I guess he's the main singer, and everybody else sings backing vocals. So yeah,
Mhm.
Midnight Lightning is from 2023. That's the album we're looking at, the one we're center on. I don't know, man. This is completely different than the two bands we talked about before.
Yes. Yeah.
This is like, to me, it's rooted in new wave of British heavy metal, but heavy on
Totally.
the German and European scene.
Yeah, man. Like my two bands I wrote down are definitely Saxon and Accept.
Yes, yeah, and I
And
I
from
would
the
throw a
newer,
little bit of Scorpions here, like Animal Magnetism era,
yes,
maybe a little Gravedigger in spots.
old stuff, yes.
Yes,
And from the newer crop of bands, they're very kind of that. they have that romp and gallop of Night Demon,
Yes, yes.
right?
Hmm.
Yep.
Interesting cover art here too. It's kind of
Yep.
cool. I like their logo. It's pretty neat. Uh,
Yep. I like it's on an angle too. It's not straight across like everybody else. It sets them
yeah,
apart.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of, these guys are really big on every song has got to have this anthemic chorus, right? So they're all
Yeah.
these kind of just sing along type of things. But man, a lot of classic riffage if you like that, like all
Yes.
those bands we mentioned, who deliver these big crunchy, crushing riffs from like say 1981 through like 84.
Yeah.
That's what you kind of get here. And I mean, the title track is so catchy. Midnight
Yep.
Lightning, really, really good. I love
Yep.
On the Run.
Yep.
Supernatural is another really good one.
Yep.
What are the ones that you like? I think Franz's vocals are very unique sounding.
He sounds like I wrote down. He reminds me of David Raidman from Alex Byrod's Voodoo Circle,
Yes.
right?
That's a good, yeah, that's a good pickup
Kind of
there.
reminds me of him.
Yeah, that's a good band, Voodoo Circle.
Oh, dude. It's like they're like Whitesnake and Purple and Rainbow put together
Put
in
together.
just a
Yeah,
modern presentation, right?
yeah. And I,
Yeah.
I, from what I understand, one of the reasons why Alex left Primal Fear is because he wanted to devote more time to Voodoo Circle.
Okay.
Because I know that, they release an album every like 3 years or something like that. So I don't
Right.
know. Maybe that means we'll see more of them. I don't know. I think
And have you heard their new song? I know we're on a tangent, but there's
I
a new
haven't.
song that they put out. I forgot what it's called, but it feels so much like it could have been on a Blue Murder album.
Really? Well,
Yeah, it's got
he's
that
got the John Sykes thing going on, so
it's got that epic kind of feel. It's very cool. Yeah, so check it out, guys.
yeah, I'm sure they'll be good. I like all their other albums. I think they're
Yep.
really
So,
cool. So I think, yeah, so I think this guy's got a pretty cool voice. He's a little different, and I think this guy Valentine is a really really good guitar player. He knows exactly what to play for the songs.
mhm.
The riffs are great. Solos are really cool too, but it's more
Yep.
about the riff and playing for the song, I think.
Yeah. What else? I wrote down Mark of the Devil, one of my favorites. High Under Pressure, there's a sax solo in there,
Which is bizarre, but yeah,
but it works.
it does
It works
work.
fine. It
Yeah.
blends in with the guitars. It works fine.
Yep.
Let's see. Sons of the Golden Horde, kind of darker, right? I thought.
Yep.
Don't Deliver Us from Evil, great, mid pace and melodic. So they do a great job of creating melody around their riffs and the type of guitars that they play, the harmonies and the leads every once in a while. They're
Yep.
great. I think these guys are really catchy. Um, I wrote down a couple from Unchain the Wolf too, because I actually discovered them from that album. MIA has a gallop to it, and I wrote down Straight Out of Hell, very Saxon.
Yeah, it's like like none of the arrangements are all that complicated. And that's one of the things why I to bring up Saxon and Accept I think is really
Yeah,
important because it's like they're just really good, catchy, like kind of basic meat and potatoes metal.
right.
Not too complicated, just kind of doing what it needs to do, and
Yeah.
that's the charm about the whole thing, right?
Yeah, and it brings back that Saxon and Accept feel from the early '80s too, which
Yeah,
is great.
for sure.
It's
Yeah.
nice to have a few. It's nice to have bands out of this new wave of traditional metal that capture different sounds and essences of all the bands that we grew up on.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And they're on Napalm Records, so it should be pretty easy to get a hold of these
Yeah,
records. Yeah. So good stuff. Yeah, I dug this band. I thought they were really good.
yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on to Spain next. Let me go find them here. Let's
And
see.
I didn't realize when I checked them out that they only have an EP. Am I correct?
Yeah, yeah, that's it right there. Age of Steel is the name of the band. Formed in 2018, one EP, which came out just this year, just came out.
Yeah,
And it's just called Age of Steel. These guys are classic metal and they got some speed metal going on in their music as well. And the
yeah,
folks in the band, we got someone named Kotzi on bass, Pablo Saez on guitars, Christian LM on guitars, Andre Speed on vocals, and Sixto Requejo on drums. Whatever. These weird names just always kill me. But yeah,
uh,
it's a 4 song EP. This is really interesting. Did you pick up like how murky the production is? But it's
yeah.
so old.
Not
I mean, it sounds like it could have come from like 1983.
Yeah, not the best produced out of the bands that we picked today.
No.
but they got a cool logo going for them
Yep. The
and
logo's awesome.
artwork.
Yep.
And musically, they remind me of, I mean, we're just talking about an EP, but this is kind of like the US kind of underground metal that we had going on at the time in the '80s.
It sounds like it's the Metal Blade sound, right?
That and bands that remind me of like Nasty Savage or Halloween
Yep.
or Shock Paris. You know, these kind of bands, that's what they remind me of.
Yeah, they I think and maybe it's the production and maybe it's some of the arrangements too, but they totally
Yeah.
have that early '80s underground thing going on. Like for me, I thought immediately of the very early Metal Blade days. So like
Yes.
first Fates Warning album, Leeds
Uh-huh.
Lord, Agent
They're
Steel,
cool.
Omen. You mentioned
Yes.
Nasty Savage. That's a great pick. That's
Yeah.
what it reminds me of. It's not polished. It's
Right.
got that kind of cavernous production value, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's really good. You got the high pitched wailing vocals, and then he does
Yeah.
like this more kind of mid rangey gruff thing. Uh,
Yeah.
the guitars, the riffs are big, but they're kind of like really like harsh sounding from the
Yeah.
production, like chainsaw ish, which I don't
Yeah.
mind at all.
Right.
But
It's another, again, another band that's got a little different sound from everybody else.
yeah, yeah, I dig it.
Yeah. I'd be curious to see if they do something else, hopefully, and a better production and
Yeah,
maybe going more towards a song that has a little more of a hook or a chorus to it. You know, it doesn't have to be poppy or anything, but something that's kind of like what Roadwolf is doing, but within what they're doing,
yeah,
keeping that spirit of those old, early '80s bands.
yeah. And I think because I think it's only like what 18 or 20 minutes long because there's only the four songs.
20 minutes, yeah,
Yeah, when you get done listening to it, folks, you're gonna want to hear more. And that's for me, I think this is the one band out of all of them today that I really am looking forward to hearing more from because this
yeah,
EP is just like a tease, right? It's so
yeah,
old school. It takes you back like 40 years, and the songs like "We Are Better," the title track is totally great. "Smoke and Dust." I mean, there's everything on here just is as old school sounding as it gets, and
yeah.
like I said, it's just kind of like a teaser for hopefully what's more to come. But this just came out like a couple months ago, so it's fairly new.
And they're playing some shows. Like I just went to their Facebook page. Like they, a lot of it's in Spanish. But they played a couple festivals, some bands. Last update was like July 5th, so they're active.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll
Yeah,
keep
they got
thank you.
CDs. Actually, they got an announcement about CDs here, so they're holding the artwork. Looks cool.
Yeah,
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 check them
good
out.
stuff. I was surprised with that. And it's funny also when I went to start, doing the research and listening, I was like, oh, they only have an EP. That's it. But that's okay because
Yeah,
it's like to do that and then you'll turn around and they'll have the next full length will be out before you know it. So
yeah,
yeah. So cool. All right. So that's Age of Steel from Spain. And
right.
for our last band, right? Is our last band? Yeah, our last band for today.
Yeah,
We're going to go to Poland. Let me pull them into the Prezi here. Where are they? This is a band that has been asked for by a lot of people who've been watching the show. And that
yeah,
is Crystal Viper. And they're probably the most veteran of all these bands here because they've been around
yeah.
about 20 years now.
2007, it says here, right?
Yeah, I think their first album was 2007. They formed in 2003. They've got nine full-length albums, a few EPs and singles, kind of a blend of power metal and classic metal. And we've got the lineup is
Great.
Marta Gabriel on vocals. She also plays some guitar and bass in the band as well. Andy
No,
Way,
wait, hold on, before you go on, sorry.
yeah.
Now that's a different vocal from her compared to the Bloodstar, right?
Oh yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll get into that. Yeah, this
yeah,
totally different kind of singer here.
yeah.
Andy Wave on guitars, Kuba Galwas on drums, and Giuseppe Tarmina on guitars. So basically, you got two guitar players, and then Marta, the singer, she also plays bass and does some guitars in the studio as well. She was also a part of Moon Chamber, Born Again, Blazing Stone, and she also played with Jack Starr's Burning Star for a little bit. And the
Hmm.
one of the guitar players was also in Athen, Crimson Wind, Terror Ridge, and a few other bands. So again, a lot of these players play in lots of different metal bands and whatnot. So yeah, this is an interesting. So the new album is called The Silver Key from 2024. That's what you're looking at here. We've reviewed
Mhm.
that on the channel here on SOT and on our webzine. So this is loads and loads of shredding guitars,
Loads, yeah, loads of them.
and her vocals are so upfront in the mix. She's almost
Yeah,
like overpowering everything else.
Yeah,
But
and
she's got
it's
pipes to
while
do it.
it's
She's got pipes
yeah,
to do it.
and while it's edgy, it's still melodic though, because
Yes.
she does have that edgy delivery, and then she goes into this very melodic part also for songs a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. She to me, it's like she's got the heavy accent, obviously. So that's like so
Yeah,
you need to know that going in. She's got the
right.
accent happening, and to me, she's like Doro on like multiple steroids, just
Mm,
like over the top, like you know.
yeah.
It's like it's almost like they want you to know that she's the star of the show here. And even
Mm,
though there's loads and loads of guitar shredding all over the place, it's like her vocal in the mix you got her vocals are up here, the guitars are here, then everything else.
yeah.
And it's just it's so over the top. If you're someone who likes a little bit more balance in the mix in your metal,
Mhm.
and you tend to like a little bit the bombast toned down a little bit. These guys may be a little bit too over the top for you. I can totally see that, but it's great stuff. It's really, really good stuff. And there's like Rich mentioned, there's a lot of really memorable choruses on here. There's a lot of good anthems on here. I don't know if you want to talk about some of the songs you dig on this one.
I wrote down Fever of the Gods, which has that speed metal kind of power metal thing going on.
Yeah.
You got a closing growl in that too. Did
Yep.
you catch that?
Yep.
Old House in the Mist. I wrote down the melodic guitar leads for the chorus. Heading Kadath. You got an Old Maiden gallop there.
That's
They do
fun.
have some Old Maiden going on in their music, right?
Yep. Yep.
Um, and then I wrote down Book of the Dead, which has that fast speed power metal, like the band Brainstorm
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
and Mystic Prophecy.
Yep.
So it's kind of like that hard speed metal, really heavy, side of the European sound of power metal.
Yeah. I think I like the title track, the Silver Key, a lot. That's got this kind of majestic thing going on and some like
Yep.
absolutely smoking guitar solos, which is really good. And the chorus is like really memorable, so that's good. I
Yep.
love the Key is Lost. I think is a really good track as well.
Hmm.
And yeah, you mentioned Heading Kadath and Book of the Dead, which were some of my other favorites here as well. And also Fever of the Gods, which opens the album. It's just like it just like pummels you right off the bat. And
Yeah.
she's just like grabbing you by the throat with those vocals. So yeah, and
Yeah.
they like I said, they have a lot of albums. So
Yep.
9 of them. And this is one of those bands I've been like hearing about for years.
In here.
And I just never like took the dive into. And I forgot to write it down. Rich, do you remember like what they're on like one of the major labels? Is this is it Metal Blade
Uh,
or is it
this
Napalm?
one's on Listenable Records, which is another
Oh,
pretty well
listen.
known one.
Okay, yeah, it's another notable label. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
But it's too bad. It's another band, they've been around for so long and they're just not out there opening for all the big names like Priest and Maiden and Saxon and everybody else. They should be openers so that everybody's got, getting the support from the new wave of traditional heavy metal.
and I would think that they're pretty marketable because if you go and you watch any videos of them, I mean, Marta Gabriel is a powerhouse front woman. I mean, she
Hmm.
really is. And she, like
Yeah.
I said, she's got loads and loads of personality. It comes across on the studio records, and I would think that they would be, ready and willing to like
Yeah.
really promote and push a band like this that has such a kick-ass female front person, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, but a lot of people dig them.
Yeah. But I mean, when do we see any of these bands from this, right? Opening up for any of the big names? I
No,
can't think of anybody, right? Unless they're doing it overseas and we don't know about it. I think they are maybe a little bit here and there, but the big shows, the big, tours, aside from what? Ghost, when they were opening for Maiden, right? And then forget it. Then they're on their own. So
yeah.
none of these guys are getting the shot.
Yeah, I mean, and this is a plea going out to all these veteran, and legendary bands that are out there still touring. It's like
Yeah.
the right thing to do is is pass the torch and give a band like this or any of the other bands we're talking about when you do go out.
Yeah.
Like, who's opening up for this Maiden tour? Is it
The one that's happening right now or the one that's coming around next year?
no, the one that's happening right now?
Oh, let me see.
I forget. But anyway, I mean, the point is, it's a perfect example to bring a band like this out on tour with you to help. I mean, I know Maiden came out with Sabaton, but Sabaton's already pretty well established. It's like,
Right. Agreed.
yeah,
Yeah. I'm trying to find who's opening up. I'm looking like for the poster. I know next year isn't it like the Raven Age or something again?
Yeah, I don't know. I've
So,
lost track.
uh, I don't know. We have to keep an eye on it. Who's opening this tour? I don't remember. But yeah, we're not seeing any of these bands here. These bands are mostly doing the festivals overseas, or like when they come here, they do that Hell's Heroes Festival,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
right? Or Keep It True overseas, which is perfect sense. That's their audience right there. But they need bigger audiences.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's plenty of opportunity, because the one thing, not everybody goes to the festivals, right? Festivals are very specialized. You get a couple thousand people and whatnot. But I would think
Yeah,
day after day, night after night, a band like, like I mentioned before, we talked about Maiden brought Ghost out. Ghost was on the upswing, so it made perfect sense. Priest brought
right,
Sabaton out, right? They're on the upswing, makes perfect sense. Like a
right.
band like Powerwolf, for instance. Powerwolf is gaining lots of
Oh,
popularity here, right? So Powerwolf
I'm
would be,
sorry. Yeah, the Who, the Who,
oh, okay, yep, yep, yep.
the Mongolian band. They're
Yes,
doing the North American band run right now.
gotcha. Okay.
Okay, so that's cool. It's a newer band,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, the traditional bands. Who's going to take over when Iron Maiden and Priest retire? They're not going to be out there forever, right? And Saxon, everybody else.
Right. Yeah. That's why, I mean, like I'm thinking, like, Uriah Heep is going to do this final tour, right? So they're going to be coming back around again. It would be really cool for them to bring, a nice new
Yeah,
up and coming heavy band. All these other bands that are, King Diamond,
yeah,
King's got a couple of younger bands on the road with him, which I think is cool. But
uh,
yeah, it just makes total sense for them to do that rather than, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with going to see an old classic big band bringing along a classic,
yes,
middle tier band. That's a good bill,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's nice to throw someone else on
That,
there.
that third slot, somebody's got to be there so they get the exposure, so they can carry on for the next generation.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah. Well, Rich, in just a few years, all the classic bands won't be playing anymore. So it's like
I know,
these bands are just going to have to go out and slog it out on the club circuit and do what they got to do. But yeah, it would
crazy.
have been nice for them to kind of get that rub all along the way from the old days.
Especially like the ones that have been around for 20 years, like Crystal Viper,
Yeah,
or almost 20 years, right? 15 years, however long it is.
yeah,
Striker, Horn have been around for a while now. Enforcer, all these bands we talked about. So, yeah, I don't get it.
yeah. Well,
Hopefully, somebody's listening. Somebody's going to do something about it.
yes, exactly. And it's all the power of the people, right? So everybody watching, just go out there on social media and bitch and complain
Yeah,
about how you want some of these bands on the big tours and make
yeah,
it happen at some point. So, but the important thing is first you've got to go listen to these bands and kind of go
support them.
follow them and give them some love because that's what they need because all these bands are just looking to get their music discovered and played and purchased and
Yeah,
it's all about the merch and the clicks and the hits and all that kind of stuff. So it's got to start somewhere. So hopefully, if you're watching this episode today, you found a couple bands here that maybe you haven't discovered yet. Go give them
yeah,
some love. Head on over to their Bandcamp pages and give their albums a listen. And if you like it, support them. It's really all that's where it starts. So,
and also there's that YouTube channel, the New Wave of Traditional Heavy Metal full albums, right?
yep,
That's what it's called. You can find all these bands there and dozens more. That's how we discover several of them too, right?
yeah, yeah,
Because they put everybody up there from every country. It's awesome.
yep, yep. So we got to start somewhere, folks. So, and there's more, it's like, we do like every month we do five of these bands, but there's like, it's
Yeah,
impossible to even keep up with how many there are. We've now done what, 6 or 7 episodes and like, we haven't even scratched the surface on all the bands that are out there. So, they're
yeah,
coming from every country. So there's tons and tons of these, bands that are
yeah,
doing this kind of old school homage to the, early mid '80s metal style. So yeah,
yeah.
plenty to come, plenty to
But
come.
I think the ones that have been around the longest, like Stryker and Enforcer and those bands, I think we've gotten all of them. I think by now, right?
I
From
think
the
so.
first wave, I think.
Yeah, I'm
We'll have
pretty
to do
sure.
our homework here, but I think we got most of them.
Yeah, yeah, all the veteran ones who have the most releases we've got. So now it's a matter of picking a lot of the more obscure bands and whatnot, and there's tons of them, tons of them.
Mhm.
So, Rich, what's going on in your neck of the woods over on Metal Asylum and Brave Words? Anything cooking over there for you?
I just saw Slaughter a couple weeks ago in Jersey, so I did a review of those guys. It was good. Um, what's next? Testament and Creator. They're going to be
Fantastic.
in Montclair, right?
Montclair, New Jersey. Yeah. So for those of
I'll
you,
review that. I'll probably do that for Brave Words and for Metal Asylum, and then King Diamond and Overkill is at the end of the month in New York. What else? I reviewed the new Striper for Brave Words, so hopefully that's going to go up soon. And got one or two articles for the Metal Hall of Fame coming up too within the next month, I would say.
cool.
Yeah,
So Rich and I and Chris Allo and a bunch of other folks will be at the Testament Creator Possess show this Thursday night in New Jersey at the Wellmont
yeah,
Theater. So if you are going to be there, come find us and say hello. Always happy to see viewers and
yep.
whatnot. So Rich will be, I'm sure, in the photo pit, right? You're going to be
Yeah, I'm
taking
going to take pictures. I'll do it for Brave Words and I'll post them at the Asylum too. I'll
cool.
do the same thing for King Diamond and Overkill. Um, anything else in October that you're going to?
I'm going to the Beat show, the King Crimson tribute thing with Steve Vai and folks. That's happening up at the Egg in Albany. That's got 21st or something like that. So I'll be up at that, and then the next thing after that is Maiden at the Prudential. So
Oh, there's Maine. Well, that's a busy month. November, you got Sebastian Bach here in New Jersey at the Starland. Following weekend, if I'm correct, it's Maiden on Saturday in Jersey and Striper the day before
yes, yeah.
at the Starland, right? Which are you going to go to that?
No, I can't do two back to back.
Okay.
I'm too old for that, man. It's too much traveling around, you know. Yeah,
Um,
I would like to see Striper, but yeah, I won't be at that one. But I
and then
love Striper.
yeah, I know you're a big fan of them. And they're doing, actually, you might have to suck it up and just go, man, because half of the set is all the hits, and then they're playing a whole bunch from all the newer albums, which you like a lot.
I like the new albums a lot. Honestly, I like the new albums better than the older albums.
I know, so you might have to do it, man. You might have to do it double night.
We'll see. We'll see. I'll talk to
And
talk to my brother
the
and see
next
what he thinks.
the next week is Wasp and Armored Saint. Wasp doing the whole first album with that old stage show from 1984. So November's a busy month.
Yeah, that's how it works. The summer was
Yeah.
pretty mellow. There was really not much
Right.
going on. The spring was packed, and now in the
Yep.
fall it's packed once again. So it's
Yeah.
crazy. And then December 7th we got SOT Fall Fest Part Two happening
That's right.
warehouse in Newburgh, New York. So that'll be a fun day as well. So yeah, lots going on. I think Blue Oyster Cult and Zebra are playing at Poughkeepsie as well, like the
Oh
weekend
yeah.
Fall Fest. Yeah, so
Cool.
might want to go to that. So we'll see. That's kind of local. So we'll see. But yeah, lots
Right.
happening as Rich said. So thanks
Yeah.
for watching, everybody. If you're going to any of these shows, come seek us out, say hi,
Yep.
and we'll see you next month here on another new wave of traditional heavy metal primer. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. For Rich Catino, I am Pete Pardo. See you next month here with 5 more bands. Check out these. Links will be below, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.
Thanks, guys.